What are some little known relationship green flags? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will place a snake under your pillow. I feel like there's a lot of detailed examples that largely boil down to two things: empathy and emotional maturity. It's sad that those two are so often lacking, that people become surprised by it. Yeah, I wonder how rare it is to actually find these two very important attributes. From my experience, the more damaged you are, the less you recognize them. It depends. In my case, I'm much more emotionally mature and empathetic because I'm damaged. But here's the big difference: I was damaged and now I'm mentally healthy and happy. But going through depression, heroin addiction, and suicidal ideation made me a better person in the long run. It allowed me to grow and learn how to be emotionally stable. Many people teeter on that edge of just getting by, so they never actually improve. But I was so far gone that I was forced to either die or improve. So I improved. Being able to emotionally connect even after an argument or during. I have friends that love having intellectual battles between themselves. It's how they connect to each other and express their love. I can relate to this. I enjoy having intellectual arguments. Would you say you love being mentally challenged? Holy IKR. It's almost as good as the putting despots before the horse quip. Pretty sure nothing can beat that one. Absolutely. During the beginning of our relationship, whenever my partner and I would argue, he would try to hold my hand, rub my arm, or hug me as we talked. When I'm wound up, I feel like I need space to think, like physical space, so I would always push him away. We'd always get to a point in our arguments where he would just shut down or walk out of the apartment, and I couldn't figure out why. I thought that he just didn't care enough to talk these things out with me. Finally, I learned that physical touch is a big part of his love language, and that was what he needed during/after our fights, to feel emotionally connected with me. Since then, when one of us gets upset, we hold hands and talk things out. It's a weird small thing that's made a huge difference in our relationship. This one time my boyfriend and I were having an argument that we couldn't find a solution to, and we had easily spent over a half hour thoroughly discussing it, trying to find a solution. At the end, we basically came to the conclusion that we just weren't going to find a solution at that moment, and I joked saying we so rarely have problems we don't even know how to fix it when we do have one, and he laughed and responded with, "We'll circle back and deal with it the next time it happens." Hasn't happened since, and we are going on 3 years strong. We both couldn't be more in love. Edit. My boyfriend's mad. He said he wants his cut of the karma, lol. Thanks for the upvotes, guys. I remember one post where a couple's approach was to agree that they should just send it up to the committee and let them decide. The hitch being there was no committee. The ability to coexist in very companionable silence. A friend of mine once said, when silence is not cringe, the friendship is real. My dad always told me all I needed to do to make friends was to be okay at talking, good at listening, and excellent at shutting the up. That's damn good advice. Honesty. Genuine interest in each other's hobbies. Don't have to do them, but at least support it. Strong communication. You feel like you're hanging out with your best friend, except you wanna smash. Bold of you to assume I don't wanna smash my best friend. Smashing the homies ain't gay if you are wearing socks. Just say no homo afterwards, and it's all good. Or good game. It washes the gay away. Good game, Pat's butt plug. You don't feel like they are playing games. Communication is direct, and you don't feel too nervous about what you should or shouldn't do or say, and you're not worried about what they do or don't do or say. Some butterflies is normal, of course. Edit. To clarify, my point here is it's possible to meet someone who, right from the beginning, you're not overly concerned about your interactions. You don't have to think too much about what to text them or when. Same with calls. They don't leave you wondering about when they will respond to you and what delaying means. They don't say or do cryptic things that you have to go home and call in a panel of friends to analyze. This is not to say that, in the beginning, you shouldn't take care to be on your better behavior and not to overshare. This is not game playing, it's being considerate. Cheesy but true. Communication in a relationship is like cell phone service. Lose it and you start playing games, or searching for a better provider, or start indulging in the neighbor's Wi-Fi. No matter how angry you are at one another, you will still go out of your way or they go out of their way to help. I'll be wicked pissed, but I'll angrily make my wife her favorite dinner, even though I don't want to eat. No matter how angry we are at one another, usually only last a short period of time. We will never sabotage or try to teach them a lesson. Many times, it ends up being both apologizing to one another. Arguing and getting angry is just part of a relationship and unavoidable. It is how you deal with it that sets it apart from a healthy relationship versus a bad one. Edit. Thanks for the reward thingies. There is never any harm telling someone you love them. I remember the time I was pissed at my so, and then she accidentally spilled some sauce on her lap and I angrily helped her clean it up with my hanky. And you don't think anything of it. Not only not thinking of it, often, angrily doing something nice for my so during a disagreement can cool me down and give me a second to think through things from her perspective and allows me to be more empathetic. I love the mental image of you angrily stirring, muttering under your breath as you carefully measure ingredients and punch in the settings for the oven, just filled with fury, crossing your arms tightly over your chest as you glare at the food while it cooks. That is pretty accurate. I had to laugh when I saw your comment. Yup, that's me. I'm chuckling at the mental image of angrily cooking a meal. Use my razor without asking. Harumph. Tell me I'm becoming my dad. I'll show you. Now, where'd I put the frickin' basil? I make you the best goddamn spaghetti you ever had. We'll see who's being unreasonable. Unreasonable, maybe. Unseasonable, never. I drink a lot of water and sometimes my BF would stay until late, and I would fall asleep. Before leaving he always made sure I had a glass full of water on my nightstand in case I woke up thirsty. It's always the small details. Edit. I drink a healthy amount of water. Thank you for your concern lol. My boyfriend does this too. I'm never without a water glass. If he walks by and it isn't full, he fills it up. I don't know how to tell you this, but I think you're dating a server. Ma'am, this is a Wendy's. The water refill is free, but at some point you gotta pay if you want to live in here. When your so takes criticism from you seriously without immediately trying to turn it back on you. If the converse is also true, you two stand a great chance of going the distance. I think it's important to realize that this is where you can be out the gate, or it's somewhere you can get to. My wife reacts very poorly to criticism, not because she can't stand to have flaws in her behavior pointed out, but because she feels that when I criticize her actions, I'm telling her that she's garbage, and in a day or two I'll be telling her to move out. That's a direct effect of her upbringing, and what's important is that she recognizes the issue for what it is, and we talk about it. It's made us so much better. This is amazing advice for any of the green flags in this thread. People come with their own experiences, but they aren't set in stone. Honest communication and working together on challenges is huge. I think lack of a certain green flag doesn't mean a red flag. This one's definitely a green flag, but the red flag version might be anything that could be perceived as a criticism results in a fight. It's one thing to not take criticism well. It's another to become enraged by it. Yeah, I hate it when people just don't take criticism. On the other hand, I get so nervous and hate giving criticism when they take it as I'm not doing good enough, and they hate me, so I get upset at myself. All I want is someone who can handle that well, so I can be open with them. A person being able to take responsibility for their actions without immediately getting defensive or angry is such a huge Huge sign of maturity. See you Reddit guys. And don't forget subscribe now, or I will place a snake under your pillow.